Okay, in the sixth grade, we've been learning about prisms, and these pictures that you see here are prisms. Prisms are 3D shapes, and we're learning to find the surface area of prisms. But we have moved on to more complicated shapes. These were surface area of rectangular prisms, but we have moved on to more complex figures. And what these are whatever shape you see at the base or the end. So like there's a triangle, there's a square, and there's a pentagon. Those are called that shape prisms. So like this right here is called a triangular prism because it's a triangle. This is called this one is called a square prism because you can see the sides up here are 7 by 7 by 7, so that's a square, but it's not a cube because this one's 10. So this is a square prism. And again, this is a pentagon with 5 sides, so it's a pentagonal prism. If it's 8 sides, it's an octagonal prism. 6 sides, it's a hexagonal prism, and so forth. Alright, but to find the surface area, you do the exact same thing that we did when we find the surface area of a rectangular prism. We have to find each side, what the area of each side is, and then add them together. Now, if we're looking at this one, the triangular prism, it's got a top and a bottom, and it's got 3 sides because a triangle has 3 sides. And that's how you find out how many sides it is. You look at the side, or the base, you see it's a triangle, and you know a triangle has 1, 2, 3 sides, and then you always count the top and the bottom. 5, 4, 5. So there's 5 sides to a triangular prism. And now what we have to do is find the area. Well, let's find the area of the triangle first. So if we just look at this triangle, what is the area of that triangle? Well, I see that it's a right triangle because it's got the little square here that tells me that the angle is 90 degrees. So it's a right triangle. So I know that the base of the triangle is 6 and the height of the triangle is 8 because these lines are parallel to these lines. So that means they have to be the same. So the base is 6, the height is 8, so 6 times 8 equals 48, and then I have to divide that by 2 or cut it in half because that's a triangle, and we get 24. Now, how many triangles are there? There's a top triangle and a bottom triangle, so that means I have 2 24s that I have to add up. Now I have to find the 3 sides. Now, if I look at the sides of the triangle, there's a 6, an 8, and a 10. Since they're all 3 different numbers, that means all 3 sides are going to be different. Because this one's going to be 10 by something, this one's going to be 6 by something, and this one's going to be 8 by something. And they're all going to be by 9, because 9 is the height. So all the sides are having a height of 9, but they all have a different width. So I have to individually find each 3 sides. So let's say I'm going to find this side first. So that is 8 by 9. 8 times 9 is 72. So I'm going to add 72. Next side I'm going to find has been highlighted in green, and that is, again, they're all the height of 9, and this has a base of 6. So 6 times 9 is 54. So I'm going to add 54. And I erased everything to show that that last side that we're going to find is in the back of our prism, and that is, again, a height of 9 and a width of 10. So 9 times 10 is 90. Now, do I have all 5 of my sides? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. I have 2 that are the same with the top and the bottom, and all 3 of my sides are different. So now I add them together. And after adding all the sides together, I got 264 meters squared. Alright, now I'm going to skip number 4 because we know how to find the area of a rectangular prism or a square prism in our previous video, and I'm going to go to number 5 and show us how we find the area of a pentagonal prism. Right. Again, to find a hexagonal prism, this is a pentagonal prism with number 5, you have to figure out how many sides there are. And again, you use the same strategy used here. You look at the base shape, which is a pentagon, and you count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you count the top and the bottom. 6, 7. So there are 7 sides to this shape. And the first thing I'm going to do is find the base, or the top or the base. And to find a pentagon, if we remember back from our chapter where we did shapes and finding the area, we have to turn each side of the pentagon into a triangle. So that means that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles in a pentagon. If we find the area of one triangle, we can multiply it by 5 and find the total area. So what is the area of this triangle? Well, it's got a height of 3, as we can see 3's got the arrow coming in here. A height of 3 and a base of 5. So that means we multiply 5 times 3 and get 15. But since it's a triangle, we have to divide it by 2. And when we divide 15 by 2, we get 7.5. So that means this one triangle right here is 7.5. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles that are all 7.5. So if I multiply 7.5 times 5, I get 37.5. And how many 37.5s do I have? Well, I have the bottom, which I just found, and I have the top. So I have two 37.5s. Now I have to find the sides. And remember, there are 5 sides on the pentagon. But what I notice is that all the sides of the pentagon are equal. So that means every side on the pentagon is going to be the exact same. So I look at it, each of the sides have a base of 5 and a height of 4. So when I look at one specific side, it's got a base of 5 and a height of 4. So that's 5 times 4, 4 equals 20. And how many sides is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 20s, because each side is 20, so that's 5 20s. So I can write 20 down here 5 times, or I can just say 20 times 5, because there's 5 sides, to get 100. So now I'm going to add 37.5 plus 37.5 plus 100 to get my total surface area of all 7 sides. And when I add up all those, I got 175 feet squared. And that's the surface area. So remember, the key is to find out how many sides it is and realize if those sides are the same. You have to individually find each side. If all the sides are the same like they were on the pentagon, it's relatively easy because you can just multiply them. But it was a little harder on this one because all 3 sides were different lengths. So they had 3 different numbers. But that's the key. You have to find the number of sides and figure out what the size of them are and find each individual surface area and add them all up. So again, this is the surface area of more complex prisms.